Welcome, and thank you for joining the Live in Divine Harmony podcast. I'm Karmen, your divine synergist of Heart's Joy. I'm an awakened person of purpose. I have a passion for life. I'm a speaker, author, podcast host, and a numerologist. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for notifications so you never miss another episode. Let's dive in. Welcome back to this week's podcast episode, the June Numerology and Energy Update. So let's do a quick recap of really what the first part of this year's been, because when you look at it, holy cow, we're already in June. And, halfway through 2024. And so when you start to look back, and honestly, I only like to look back to see how far you've come. And we've been through a lot this year, collectively and on a personal scale as well, where a lot of our relationships have shifted. And ultimately, that started with the relationship with yourself, because you are the creator of your life. You are the creator of what I call your 3D world and what you are experiencing every day. And once you start to understand exactly how you're creating that, because yes, thoughts do create things. And, where is your energy frequency? And you hear me say that a lot. And we are, we are creating and co-creating our everyday experiences, our everyday world, our everyday life in a multitude of ways. And that's something, I do a deep dive in the Creating a Life You Love Masterclass to help you really understand how powerful you really are. And so when you start to think back where you were in January of this year, where you are now. I was even thinking back about where I was a year ago. So at the end of May was the 1-year anniversary that I lost my soul kitty cat, Treasure. And I got to thinking about, I remember exactly how it felt and that process and where I was. And, I was getting ready to go on a trip and I had a speaking engagement in Florida and then to see family in Florida. And it literally took me back to all those feelings. And to see how much has changed for me now and where I am now, it's mind blowing. And a lot of it's because I chose something different. And, I had different choice points, if you will, along the way. And I made a choice that is in my highest path. And so every decision that we make, it's going to put you somewhere different. Meaning you could make a lower frequency decision or a higher frequency decision. And it's so interesting when I make mention to somebody about change, the immediate thing first out of their mouth is, well, is it good or bad? And I laugh because, well, that's all relative. Ultimately, all change is going to be great. It may not feel great at the beginning. It may feel bumpy. It may feel uncomfortable. There's a lot of uncertainty, because uncertainty, that's change. It's outside our comfort zone. We aren't sure what to expect. And that's expect the unexpected. And ultimately, that's the energy of the month that we're in and here in June. And so embracing change, when you start to embrace change, start to notice how things shift in your life. So June is what I'm calling, it's your choice as life moves forward, because life is going to continue to move forward. May felt like a waiting period. We were waiting. Everybody had a different type of waiting period. You could have probably still taken action and you were waiting. So for those of us who are projectors in human design, I'm waiting for the invitation and I'm always still in action. So I'm still creating things, knowing that when I receive the invitation, then it's already ready to go. I'm cultivating my garden and I'm still in a waiting period. And think back about what was your waiting period? What did that look like in May? Did you still take action too? And then June, we're playing with a 6 energy and a 5 energy, and collectively we're in an 8 energy for 2024. And when you look at those, so I'm looking at those three numbers combined, it's truly your choice as to how, as to where you're going to go next, because life is moving forward. And it is going to be a month of unexpected change. And it's going to be focused on creating harmony in relationships, in your home, in your family. And so I say harmony because to me, balance doesn't really exist. It's a perfectionism energy, it's a perfectionism idea that I'm going to have complete balance throughout my life. And I feel like that's something that society has told us, or at least that's the message I've been receiving through most of my life. And then it's kind of like, okay, well, what does this look like? And then you strive to find that balance, and then you find yourself frustrated. And so for me, harmony is that ebb and flow. It's moving with the energy, with the current, right? I always think of an ocean or a big body of water when I think of energy and when I think of harmony, because it's the tides coming in and the tides moving out. And that is this month. That's the energy. Those are the themes for this month. And can you, so it's really going to be your choice if you get sucked into what's happening, if you're going to get sucked into social media, if you're going to get sucked into the narrative that's going on this month with politics, with pretty much anything that's headlines right now. Social media can be heavy. It can be, no matter what platform you're on. And there's a lot of things being said that are truth out there on Twitter, X, that some people just are not ready to hear. They don't want to hear. So, because a lot of people, that's what they do, is they just shut it down. They sweep it under the rug instead of saying, isn't that interesting? I wonder if this is real, because I see the same narrative, the same story being told over and over, or similar version of it. And so what's really real out there? What's really going on? What's really happening? And that's where I like to come from, is that curiosity standpoint. That's something that we talk about in the Live on Purpose course, is curiosity and the energy behind curiosity and the doors that that opens for us. So the most important relationship you're ever going to have is the relationship with yourself. And you hear me say that a lot. Why? Well, the relationship you have with yourself authentically, your authentic self, your higher self, who you really are as a soul on a soul level, that is what leads to your relationship with God, your relationship with Jesus. And that's ultimately the big relationship that I encourage us all to focus on and make that choice instead of getting sucked into what we're being told is the cool new trend on socials. So let's talk about the planetary alignments. I want to talk about the new moon and the full moon coming up here in June, and then talk about the retrogrades. And then we're going to end with the Schumann resonance, because let me tell you, that has been off the charts. That's why I always love to do check-ins, just to see how is everybody feeling, especially with the energies that have been happening over the last several weeks. So the new moon is in Gemini coming up here June 6th. And, new moons are always a beautiful time to really focus on what do you want to manifest and what are you creating. Focus on this for the next 6 months. And I always like to ask myself, and this is actually in the daily journal that I wrote, who do I need to be? Who is it that I'm going to be in order to have this happen? And whatever that manifestation is that you're calling into your life. Great example. If you would like to lose some weight, what habits are you changing? And so, where in your mindset gets to shift so that this all can happen? And so, where are you? What are you eating? What is this person doing? Are they just scrolling on social media for 6 hours a day or 4 hours a day? What are they doing in the evenings? Are they walking? Are they exercising? Things of that nature. And that is something to focus on during this new moon in Gemini. So this is a great time to give yourself a new direction. Again, it's your choice. What is it that you really want? Or are you telling yourself a sad story of, oh, well, I'm too old to do it, or I don't have the money to do it, or whatever that story is, it's simply a story. It's not real. And so choose your choice. We are always at choice. We always have a choice. It's up to us to actually choose the choice. So start to look at new possibilities. And if you would like help with looking at these possibilities, hop in the community, Creating a Life You Love community. It's free. And let us know. And we can definitely help you with that. I always say, I'm a possibilities gal. That's what I love to do. I love to see, okay, what are the possibilities? What are the different choices out there that I may not even know about? And so, again, this is a great time to write down your manifestations. Writing them down, though, is really sinking into the feeling and feeling into them. What is this going to feel like? And then tap into all of your senses. And that's one way to increase your energy, frequency, vibration, because it's got to be a match in order for it to come to you. And then we're going to have the full moon in Capricorn June 21st. And a lot of times people will say, oh, you got to find balance between, self care, between taking care of your family, between your career. And I'm going to ask you to focus on harmony because life happens, things happen. This morning, when I got up, when I actually left the house to go walking, I really was an hour behind, and I didn't tell myself that though. I just said, "Okay, focus on what you have in front of you. Every single moment of the day, just be present and focus on what I have in front of me to do." And it works because you're not worried, you're not thinking or overthinking. Being in the present moment really is where the magic is. And so during this full moon, it's giving you the chance to refocus for the rest of the year. What is it that you really want to experience? What do you want your life to look like? What do you need to let go of? Is there something that's holding you back for you to let go of? And that could be people, places, things, situations. It could be mindset. Um, uh, Thoughts is really big because that is one of the big manifestors. I would say that and your beingness are your two big manifestors that most people aren't even realizing how it's impacting us every single day. And so maybe that's something that you're going to focus on and shift. Again, choose your choice during this full moon in Capricorn. Something else to consider this entire month is, where are you really focusing? What are you really focused on? Are you focused on other people, their situations? Are you making stories up every day of things that haven't happened yet because maybe that you feel comfortable doing that because it helps give you some sort of script when they do happen, which most of the time they don't. You're simply blocking yourself. What is it that you really want to focus on just for the month of June? Don't worry about the rest of the year. Don't worry about things that have already happened. What is it that you'd like to focus on throughout the month of June? And then focus on it. Go do it. Take action. It's so interesting how many times I've asked people, "Have you taken action on that?" They say no. Okay, well, it's the and conversation. It's sinking into that feeling and embodying that feeling, that energy frequency, and taking action. So if you were have been maybe thinking about a new project or an idea that you had, there's a reason why you have that idea and you haven't taken action on it yet. This is your sign to go do it. This is your month to go do it, because the earth is still gonna be here. Everything's still gonna be moving. Life moves on. Things move on. And so as life continues to move forward, what choices are you going to make for you? Remember, life is about you and it's not about you. It's one of the questions I ask myself every morning is, how am I serving today? Who am I serving today? What does this look like? Because it's an life is outward focused. So let's talk about retrogrades. We've been in Pluto retrograde since the beginning of May. This will last through October. I talked about it in the last podcast. And then we do have a new one coming up, Saturn retrograde in Pisces, the end of June, June 29th to be exact. And I am going to talk about that one closer till time. I really want to focus on these monthly energies for June 1st before I then do a deep dive into that Saturn retrograde in Pisces. How are you working with these energies? Reminder as always, the Schumann resonance. Wow. Let me look at some screenshots that I took here. Power of 82. This was the last Wednesday of May. 82. And May 29th. 82. Y'all, it was the day before, it was 7. If you aren't sure what the Schumann resonance is or why I talk about it a lot, check out I did a whole podcast on it to help you understand what it is, how to work with those energies. Mid-May, it was power of 66. We have a lot of light. We have a lot of higher frequencies, energy coming in to the earth. And so are you embodying it? The beginning of May, it was 56. As you do embody this higher frequency energy, you'll notice that the foods that you eat will change. Things that you consume in general will change. People who you surround yourself with will change. And sometimes it's hard to let go of those things. It's been much easier for me over the last, I'd say, month and a half to just let go, to release. And knowing that I'm on my highest path right now, and knowing that I don't know, and I'm okay with that. And when I say that, it's on a personal level. I know what my personal year is. I'm in a personal year 5 for numerology, which is expect the unexpected, change and travel. So I'm very much aware of what this year is going to look like for me, which is I have no freaking clue. And I'm super excited for it, which is one reason why I love numerology. So let me know if you have any questions. As always, you are welcome to join us in the Creating a Life You Love online community. It's a great way to connect with like minded individuals. Ask any questions that you may have as well. And I'd love to hear from you. Are there any topics that you'd like for me to cover in any of the upcoming podcasts? I do have a couple of topics that I'm working on for upcoming podcasts. Let me know. Until next time, sending you much love. I'll see you soon.